everybody, it's Danny here from Angel Handmade Papercraft. Today I am working with Paper Dolls and I'm going to be sharing one of their new images. This is Viking Tina. So I do have all of the Copic markers listed. I did have to record this a couple of times after having issues with my camera. So this page with all of the Copic markers listed I will have at the end of the video. So don't stress if you weren't able to capture those. And I will also try and get them on video. So I am going to start colouring her. I've got her printed onto some Express-It blending card and I'm colouring her up using Copic markers. So we're going to work our way through. This video goes for about 15 minutes, so I'll do my best not to talk too much rubbish in between. So I always start with the skin. So I lay down my lightest colour first and then I work my way from darkest to lightest and go back and do any touch-ups if required. So the blend that I'm going to be using today on the skin is E000002111 E04 and then R20 for the cheeks. So I'm working my way through. It doesn't take long to colour all of these bits and pieces up. I normally speed up a little bit more than this, so if you are watching this on my channel personally, it will be sped up a little bit more. This one is going to be going on to the Paper Nest Dolls. And I'm super honoured to be joining in on the team with these guys. There's so many talented designers on this team. And I know we have spoken about it previously, but things have just been so hectic, and I'm hoping I knew you and a new me. So that's the plan. All right, so skin is all done. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to work on the hair. So when I'm doing hair like this, I like to map out where my darkest areas are going to be first. So that's why I'm going straight in with the darkest marker. And you can always blend it out more if you need to later anyway. So my hands are super shaky today for some reason. I'm not sure why, so I do apologize if some of my lines aren't absolutely perfect. I think just the exhaustion of trying to get these stupid cameras to work. The video camera that I always have been using for years decided to keep glitching halfway through my videos and then erasing, or corrupting I should say more, the video that I did have created. So yeah, so much hard work when you've got to colour the same thing over and over again, especially in the same colours. But we got there in the end. I've taken down my video camera. I've got a spare iPad, so that's all hooked up above me. And yeah, hopefully this will work a little bit better. It just means that I've got to airdrop every video to my computer, which is probably no different really to plugging from one device to the other. All right, so hair, I'm doing E71, 74, 77, and 79. So I went in and mapped out the E79 first, and then I'm going back down from the darkest to the lightest and pulling those areas out. I color different hair different ways, depends on the image. If it's got hair that's sort of chunky like this, where you can actually see the different separations of the hair, I don't even know how to explain that. That's when I'll go with the chunky style. If it's more of a big areas that I can't color in chunks, then sometimes I'll do a flicking motion. So I kind of just judge that per image. I don't always color the same. I am not qualified as a Copic artist like some of these, you know, wonderful designers are. I am completely self-taught, so I do it my way and it makes me happy. So it is what it is. All right, so we're going now down to the lightest of the colors and we are just about done with the hair. Couple of touch-ups and she's all good to go. All right, so now we are going to move on. I've got all my markers already laid out, so I'm just grabbing those up. My neighbors are being super loud tonight. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I don't even know what day we're up to. What are we up to? Tuesday? I work today and I don't normally work today, so it's put me off a little bit. Sorry, I had to put the kids to bed, so I paused it but didn't realize that I had still recording. Anyway, all right, so we're going to go in and color her. I don't know what you call each of these layers, so I do apologize if I'm not getting technical. The fluffy layer on the top, I'm going to go in with some of my E80 markers, and I do go back in later after they've soaked into the paper a little bit and touch it up because I wasn't completely happy. So you will see me grab these markers again later on down the track. I wanted it to kind of look hairy looking and I didn't really know how to create that, so I sort of winged it a little bit. But yeah, it is. We got there in the end. All right, now with the horns, I was kind of thinking that they were made out of some sort of animal product, so I went with the warm grey markers instead of the like the cool greys or the toner markers. And I was really happy with the way it turned out. So for that, I'm using the W0 and W5. And I did her the teeth necklace. Again, there's probably technical terms to all these things, but I got no idea. But I had super fun coloring this up. I had to do a little bit of a Google search to kind of, I know what a Viking is, but I wasn't sure about colors and things like that. So I'm going in now with some of my end markers. So I'm going to super saturate this. So it's going to go down quite dark, but when I start adding the lighter colors, it will saturate a lot more and it will pull that color out quite a bit. So I'm here trying to leave a little bit of white around the outside. So when that color does saturate, I don't lose a lot of it outside of the lines. So now going in with the next color down and starting to pull that out. I do apologize. I was trying not to turn my page so that you guys could see it in the same spot all the time. It's so difficult to color up and down. I'm a page turner. All right, and with the final saturation, there is loads of color being laid down here to pull that color out. So pulling it all into the middle of the hat. And I will go in now in the darkest areas. All right, now we're going to start doing our page turning. I'm a lot happier and comfortable now. Laying down my darkest color first because I needed to work out exactly where I was going to map those areas in and pulling all that color out. It's so difficult coloring like this, and I can't see my iPad either, whereas before I had my video camera screen twisted so that it was back facing at me and I could see what I was doing, but here I've got no idea, so I'm completely winging it like I'm coloring by myself. Yeah, so we're going in, I'm just adding some color to that strand around her. I do apologize, as I said, it's 11 o'clock at night and I am so ready to go to bed after recording this a million times over. But I need to get it up and I need to get it sent off to Christine so she can approve and pop it onto YouTube. Ready for the new release for you guys. Where'd you go, Danny? I didn't want to cut too much out of this video because I was trying to keep it as live as I could for you guys. All right, so I'm going in and using some they are E's, they are in the brown family, but they're like reddy browns, and that's what I'm coloring her little Viking dress here. Again, because I wasn't completely sure exactly how I wanted to color it, I did go in with my darkest first, mapped out all of those dark areas, and then started blending from there. The weird thing with these E markers, so I'm using E07, E070809, is that they're completely out of whack number-wise. I think the E08 ended up being sort of the darkest of the three markers, so I do go in and play around with the colors a little bit just to get a comfortable tone of what I was looking for. So I'm pulling all of those creases in her dress out. Just trying to work out, making sure that I'm not missing any sections. This is where I'm going back in now with the E07 and starting to pull all of that color out a lot more. Once I've done that, then I can start laying down it in chunks. As you can see here, now we're starting to blend everything together and I'm starting to get a little bit more depth in. Not forgetting her arms. we're now going to go into the middle layer of coat. So I'm planning on colouring it red, and I just wanted to give it a little bit of gold. If you call that, oh, sorry. If you call that the twilling around the outside, I'm not even sure. That's my plan anyway. So we'll go in and add all of that colour down and start blending everything together. So pulling out my red marker, so I've got my 39, 29 and 17, and for the yellow I use the Y13 and YR23. So again, mapping out all of those darkest areas first, and then going back in and blending everything out. So lots of colour laying down. For those of you that use Copic markers, you know that it takes a little bit of effort to blend your reds together, much like the purple or the V markers. So lots and lots of layer. So just being controlling, don't layer too much down because it will start to bleed, but enough down to create that depth. Love how you can you know, bring an image to life just by adding a bit of color. You know, sometimes it is all about the colors that you are laying down. You don't notice so much, I guess, in these pictures that you can see on your screen right now, but in the for reals image, you can see a lot more in the color difference, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. So here I am now, I'm going in and just making that little bit more effort and getting a nice true blend so it doesn't stand out too much. And one last little bit of coating there, realizing that I'm pushing my image off screen. I've now got to start learning whereabouts I need to put my image on my screen, or on my mat I should say, so that I know that it's always on screen. So I do apologize occasionally if it feels like I'm not with it. I'm probably not. As I said, playing with all of the new lighting. I moved my lights around a little bit because they were reflecting straight off my iPad. A little bit of shadowing and things because I am colouring at night time. Alright, for her sword I'm using W00, W5, N2, YR24, YR27 and E19. So a few of the YR markers, and then bringing in some of those browns as well. Not forgetting the top of that sword. Isn't she pretty? She's almost done. So she's got a bit of fluff on the top of her boot, so I'm going to go in with some more of that E marker, and here I am just fixing up that fluffy coat that I wasn't 100% on. Now that it's sort of soaked in a little bit more and the lighting has changed, I can see that it needed that extra coat, so I'm really happy with the way that it was turning out. Did the boots. And finally putting those ends back in to colour up her boots. So I'm being really careful just by using just the nib of my marker. I don't want to lose the detailing in those gorgeous little laces. You know, every girl needs some lace up boots. And going through and doing that final blend. I'm going to go in later and add some details with a white gel pen. You'll see that in the final image at the end of the video. And that will be me pretty much done. So the video is coming to an end. I thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to head over to the Paper Nest Dolls shop and also onto their Facebook page and come and check out all of their goods. I'll see you soon. Have a good day.